With the transfer window comes a lot of ups and downs. We will go over one of these such cases in today's video. As we face a huge hurdle in a record deal, we will discuss this whilst going over all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Any hopes of David Turnbull making a swift return to Scottish football have been played down, with journalist Scott Burns ruling out a move to Aberdeen due to financial hurdles. Turnbull left Celtic just 18 months ago, having collected 6 major domestic trophies during his time at the club. Known for his long-range goal threat, the midfielder never quite cemented a consistent starting role under successive managers at Parkhead. After making the switch to Cardiff City in February 2024, his new challenge in the English Championship quickly turned sour. Cardiff endured a miserable season and were relegated to League One after finishing bottom of the table. With his club now operating in the third tier, speculation has grown about Turnbull potentially moving back north. Aberdeen, where CEO Alan Burrows previously worked with Turnbull at Motherwell, have been touted as a possible destination. Journalist Scott Burns explained why a deal for Turnbull is currently off the cards. He said this: "I think this one is unlikely. David Turnbull is on good money at Cardiff City. He is a player the chief executive Alan Burrows knows well and would love to do. I just think finances would be the killer on that front if the player was to consider coming back to Aberdeen. The Dons are definitely looking to add to their midfield options," Burns concluded. Burns' comments make it clear that money is the main issue. Turnbull is on a big wage at Cardiff, and that's proving too much for a club like Aberdeen to match. The Dons are still on the lookout for midfielders this summer, but Turnbull doesn't look like a realistic option just now. The ex-Celtic man still has time to turn things around, though he looks set to stay in League One for the time being. What happens next in Turnbull's career remains to be seen, but any Scottish side wanting to bring him back will need to find the cash to make it happen. Now, for the main story. Celtic's interest in Japanese defender Hayato Inamura could face fresh challenges following a major deal involving another J-League defender. Premier League side Tottenham Hotspur have reportedly agreed a $5 million fee with Kawasaki Frontale for 20-year-old centre-half Kota Takai. The move, reported by Fabrizio Romano and Japanese outlet Sponichi Annex, would set a new record for the highest sum ever received by a J-League club for a Japanese player. That kind of figure might not raise eyebrows in England, but it's a different story for clubs like Celtic. The Hoops have made a habit of identifying value in the Japanese market, with the likes of Kyogo, Rio Hitate and Daisen Maeda all arriving for bargain fees. But deals like Takai's could change the landscape. Inamura, currently playing for Albirex Niigata, has been gaining attention for his assured performances and ability to read the game. Still just 23, he fits the profile Celtic often look for: technically sound, physically strong and with room to develop. But if clubs in Japan begin to view £5 million as a new standard for top young defenders, that could make things trickier. Celtic are believed to be considering defensive reinforcements this summer, with uncertainty around several current players and the need for depth in Europe. Inamura is one name who's been mentioned, though no formal bid has been made. What happens next may depend on how J-League clubs respond to the Takai sale. If Albirex Niigata choose to follow suit in valuing Inamura along similar lines, it could test the limits of what Celtic are willing to pay. All eyes will be on how this develops as the window unfolds. In other news, Hugh Keevins has criticised the decision to move Celtic's Flag Day to a Sunday evening kickoff, saying the champions should have been given the traditional Saturday afternoon slot. Celtic will open their league campaign against St Mirren at Celtic Park on Sunday the 3rd of August with a 4:30 p.m. start as chosen by Sky Sports. This change means Rangers will begin their season almost 24 hours earlier when they face Motherwell at Fir Park on Saturday evening. That head start has raised eyebrows among supporters, especially given Celtic's status as reigning champions. Keevins believes the Hoops should have been given more respect and allowed to kick off the season on Saturday, the usual time for title celebrations at home. The veteran pundit said the fans deserve to enjoy the occasion at a proper time after another dominant season. He also pointed out that while it may be frustrating for supporters, they're ultimately not in control of these decisions. Keevins said Sky Sports holds the power, and neither the SPFL or fans can do much about it. He had this to say: "I have to agree with you 100%. I think that Celtic, as the champions, should be given precedence over the rest and should have a 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon kickoff with all of the pre-match celebrations which they have earned in the season gone by. It does seem to me to be a peculiarity that they're there Sunday at 4:30, but I think if you're a Celtic fan, okay, it's slightly inconvenient, but having won 13 of the last 14 titles, you go along whenever it takes place and you recognise the scale of that achievement on the part of Brendan Rodgers, Ange Postecoglou and other managers. Is it just more to do with the supporters and how it affects them wanting to have it at a more traditional time? On the one hand, the fans are powerless, and just to correct slightly, it's not an SFA matter, it's an SPFL matter. They're powerless as well because Sky Television write the checks. End of story, he concluded. Keevan's comments reflect a wider feeling that champions deserve a bigger say in how they begin the defence of their title. While most supporters will still turn up in force, many would rather see the season start on their own terms, not at the convenience of broadcasters. Celtic fans have grown used to unusual kick-off times in recent years, but many still see midday on Saturday as the proper moment for Flag Day, a time for supporters to come together and celebrate at Parkhead. This isn't the first time Sky's influence over fixture scheduling has caused frustration. Clubs often have to adjust to TV's demands, and the traditional feel of Scottish football can get lost in the process. As the new campaign approaches, the timing of Celtic's opener will remain a talking point. The day will still be a celebration of success, but there's no doubt many feel it's been slightly overshadowed by a decision made far from the pitch. Lastly, new Celtic signing Ross Doohan has reportedly let slip that the squad will be back at training earlier than expected. In a message to fans on social media, the goalkeeper said, "Absolutely buzzing to be back at Celtic. Can't wait to get started on Friday." Doohan either means the first pre-season game or suggests the players are set to return on Friday to training, a few days ahead of the reported return date of Monday, the 30th of June. The early start would give the squad more time to get ready for their first pre-season match against Queen's Park on July 4th. Doohan, who has rejoined Celtic on a 3-year deal, is expected to be among the first group of players back at Lennox Town. The 27-year-old came through the club's youth system and returns after time with Tranmere and Aberdeen. Doohan's early post may not have been planned, but it gives fans a clear idea that preparations are moving fast behind the scenes. The build-up to the 2025 to 2026 season is now well underway. Not all players will be back straight away. Some are still playing international football. Alistair Johnston and Lewis Palmer are away at the Gold Cup, while Paolo Bernardo has just finished playing in the Under-21 Euros. These players will be given more time off before coming back. Others who didn't have international duty or who are recovering from injury are likely to return first. That includes players who trained through the summer break to stay fit. Celtic have a busy pre-season lined up. After the game against Queen's Park, they'll head to Ireland, Portugal and Italy to face strong opposition. Brendan Rodgers wants the team fully ready for the new season, and the early return would show the focus is already there. What are your thoughts on these? Let us know down in the comment section below. Make sure you've liked this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content.